Shalom, Shavua Tov. This has been an extraordinary week. We lost Shimon Peres. Probably no question about it, the greatest statesman that Israel has ever had after Ben Gurion. The man who dreamt, man who did, man who was loved, who was honored. And there was a perfect opportunity at his funeral for Mashiach to come. 70 countries were represented. Torah was translated into 70 languages. I was talking to a friend of mine who came to bring me some wonderful goat's milk from Rabbi Cook's goats, which made a huge difference and make a huge difference in my health, which is slowly improving as long as I don't eat. I tried to have something to eat today, not very much, and it just wasn't any good. So we talked, and and she said to me, she said, something is going to happen at the funeral. I said, yeah, they're going to bury a box. What do you mean they're going to bury a box? Mashiach is going to come. There's going to be something happening. I said, well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't think anything is going to happen. Because I don't think Shimon Peres is going to bring Mashiach. This was a back and forth banter kind of conversation. To tell you the truth, what really bothered me terribly is the fact that he was buried 3 days after he died, and knowing what happens to a neshama if she is not buried within 24 hours of being dead, I decided in my own mind that that can't possibly be, that the chief rabbis of Israel would never allow that, and that probably he was buried in great secrecy, and the guf, the body, is already in the ground, and what was buried was bugs. So this is my take on how halachically this funeral took place. The fact that there were 70 countries represented, I just read that. That makes a great impression upon me. And we're entering 5,777. And we read Parasha's Nitzavim, where the Parasha begins with the declaration, you are standing firmly today, all of you together, before God, your God, the heads of your tribes, to your water drawers, in order to bring you into the covenant of God, your God. We're standing here today firmly, all of us, every Jew in the world, whether he is Chiloni, non-observant or observant, stands before Hashem, and Hashem is judging. Jews are judged on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Gentiles are judged on the second day. Jews understand somewhere deep inside their neshamas, their souls, if they are not religious, that Rosh Hashanah is a really big holiday. Before I became observant again in my life, which was 16 years ago, actually, everything started in 1992 when I moved to Kiev, but completely observant in 2000. There was Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and Pesach, Passover. Those were the three holidays that I observed as a cultural, traditional Jewess. And you know what? For every holiday that I didn't observe, I am sorry today. And for every prayer that I didn't make, I am sorry today. And for every piece of Torah that I should have read, for every Parasha that I didn't read, for every word that passed me that I didn't pay attention to, I'm sorry today. Because today is the day to go into the new year with a clean slate. Torah explains all of you together, from the lowest to the highest, each individual according to his capacity. Each one has a special divine assignment according to his status and station in life. And in this way, when each and everyone carries out his or her assignment, the complete unity of the Jewish people is achieved. You know what's amazing, really, really amazing, is that Torah tells you just everything. It doesn't talk politics. It's not diplomatic. Hashem tells you precisely what's going on. He says, perhaps there is among you a person growing in wickedness like a root that is sprouting bitter herbs, such that he hears the words of this oath, this covenant, and he will think that it does not apply to him, and he will convince himself in his heart, saying, I will be okay, even if I follow my heart's desires, and I do exactly what I want to do. And Torah says, to such a person I will add to the punishment of his sins, which were done inadvertently, as if in a drunken stupor, a further punishment for his sins done intentionally out of a conscious thirsting. God will not be willing to forgive him. Torah, you're listening to Torah. Rather, God's fury and his seal will then fume against that man, and the entire curse written in this book will come down upon him, and God will obliterate his name from beneath the skies. God will single him out from all the tribes of Israel for severe treatment, according to all the curses in the covenant written in this book of Torah. Do you want to deal with that? Do you want to deal with that? The later generations, your descendants, who will come after you, along with a foreigner who comes from a distant land, will say upon seeing the plagues of that land and the diseases which God afflicted on it, sulfur and salt have burned up the entire land. It cannot be sown. It is infertile, and not even grass will sprout upon it. All the nations will say, why did God do such a thing to this land? What caused this great rage of fury? Then they will say, it is because they abandoned the covenant of God, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he took them out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods. Since the punishment will come upon us, even if an individual is harboring thoughts of idolatry, what hope is there for us? Asks the Torah. And my response is, and this is the response of Moshe Rabbeinu, the hidden things in a person's mind are for God, our God, to deal with privately. But the revealed things which people's sin are known are for us and for our children forever to deal with and enact justice to fulfill the words of Torah. This, to me, is probably one of the most important things in this Parsha. Other, of course, than the fact there will be the ingathering of exiles, and there is a very, very, very important conversation of Mashiach and what and who and how does Mashiach have to be, and how these things are near to you. That they're not in the sky and they're not far away from you where you can't reach them, but these words are very near and easy for any person who has a brain inside his skull, says the Rebbe. Since a person's mind is under his control and he's free to think about whatever he pleases and on any subject. So when he will use it to think about the greatness of God, he will inevitably generate, in his mind at least, a love of God sufficient to make a person want to cleave to him through the performance of his commandments and the study of Torah. Excerpt from Tanya, chapter 17. Friends, I've had an incredible week. Those of you who have Facebook, please go on Facebook and read the story of Lori Silverman and the gift of the pearls on a boulder at the Kinneret, at the Sea of Galilee. If you think that Hashem is far away, that He doesn't see, and He doesn't hear, and He doesn't consider you, think again. If you think that He doesn't have time for you, if you think that He doesn't watch every your doings, think again. If you think that He turns His head away from you for a second, think again. And if you think that everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you think is not recorded, think again. Because this is the time of the book of remembrances. There's a thing in my head about things that we forget, things that we put away, things that we don't want to think about, things that hurt us, things that were not great that we did in our life, things that we're sorry for and it's better left unsaid. It's all written in the book of remembrances. And that's the book that comes out tomorrow and stays out until Yom Kippur. And in the days before Rosh Hashanah, in the days of Rosh Hashanah before Yom Kippur, the days of awe, Yamim Noraim, those are the days when those things and those thoughts and those remembrances are judged. When Hashem decides if we go or if we stay, if we have another year or we don't. You know, I just got a note from a friend of mine for special segulas for Rosh Hashanah from Rebbitzin Yamima Mizrahi. And she says here, before sitting down at the Seder table, look at everyone's eyes and bless them individually. Feel forgiveness for everyone around you. Allow love and peace to enter your heart. And everybody should say L'chaim out loud and bless each other with complete simcha. And she says, don't invite anybody to your table that can push your buttons. Because should you get angry, should you get upset during Rosh Hashanah, should you get sad, the way you set it up, that's the way the year is going to be. My father, Alav Shalom, used to say, Azoi v'min betzach et min shlufen. The way you make your bed, so you're going to sleep. And, I so remember the things that my father said, because there are such wisdoms that, of course, I always adored my father, and I always knew that he was absolutely a Jew from the tip of his head to his toes, but he was my father, and that was natural. But when I think of the things he said, and the wisdom and the love and the real truth, the simplicity of the things that he said, that he remembered from Cheder, from his schooling in Poland. And sometimes that seemed so strange, because, who can relate to his father's training in Poland? When you're living in America, and you come to America as a teenager, and all you want to do is forget about everything that is old country and be something modern. And then you forget who you are, and you forget what you are, and you become involved in being like everybody else. You become like the nations, and you become like exactly what Torah tells you not to be. At any rate, I went that way. I became exactly that. But I never forgot Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Passover. Those were my holidays, and that was my connector. That was part of that incredible whole that our Parasha talks about. That without every single one of us doing every single thing that we need to be doing, we can't become that whole. It's not possible. We're fragmented. We're all over the place. We're everybody. We're just not who we need to be. The ingathering of exiles, my friends, is happening. People are coming from all over the world to come back to Eretz Yisrael, because it's their haven. It's their land. They are afraid in the world, and the world is giving them good reason to be afraid. But it's not enough to be in Israel. There are 613 commandments, and being in Eretz Yisrael is only one of 613. So there are 612 more that need to be adhered to, more that need to be taken into consideration every living moment of our lives. HASHEM knows we can't do them all, but we have to try. He gave us the potential to be able to do it. He gave us the potential to do everything we can to be a unit, to be unified, to be one with Him. One with Him, soul of my soul. I am part of his soul. He is my spark. His soul is my spark. The food that I eat, that I elevate, and that I take his sparks out of, again, it's his. And we say, the body is yours, and the soul is yours, and everything that I am, and every fiber of my body, and every fiber of my being, and every thought, everything belongs to you. HASHEM, we implore you, give us a good year. Let us stand together and find unity. Bring us home, all of us, from the furthest corners of the world. Bring us home. Give us peace. Peace, man between man and God with man. Give us strength to observe your commandments. Give us power to make understanding and make clarity, absolute clarity of who you want us to be, what you want us to be. Show us the way to become one people, observing your commandments, not thinking about a way out of them, but becoming part of your holy people and being proud to be chosen by you. I heard from one of my friends that the newest thinking in modern Orthodox Jewish learning by the young people is that they shouldn't be wearing head coverings and they shouldn't be wearing tefillin, because they should learn to stand on their own 2 feet and not need anyone to be independent and to learn to fend for themselves. Wow. As far as I'm concerned, all the power to you. You, with your iPhone, your fancy gadgets. You know what? HASHEM has always brought his people home. And we have suffered for every single one of our disastrous moves in the world when we walked away from him. We have paid with Jewish lives in the millions, from the stars in the sky to the sand in the sea. We became the smallest of all people, born to greatness, born to be the greatest of all people. This year, we will become and we will be what HASHEM wants from us. 5777. Shana Tova. Great, great, great year of TORAH, of mitzvahs, of ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. I love my neighbor as myself, and I will do everything I can to become a unit with my people. God bless you. God bless you. Shana Tova.